Mufasa The Lion King is the latest installment in the Lion King franchise. So today, let's stop and rank all 6 of the Lion King films from worst to best. Hey everybody, my name's Justin. All I do here is watch movies and shows in theaters and on streaming services. Leave your list down below. How would you rank all 6 of the Lion King films from worst to best? I will be including the Disney movie that is based on a Disney Junior show, The Lion Guard. It was a film and it turned into a series. Speaking of that film, coming in last place, The Lion Guard. This is a fun film for kids. I didn't do too much for me in regards to the story. It's trying to rely so much on that original Lion King film. It is trying to have a new style of animation and storyline and characters for kids to enjoy, but it's very kid friendly. It's not a bad thing. Kids do enjoy this film. My daughter has watched it. I've watched my cousin watch it as well. There is some nice things about this movie, but it feels like it's just a repeat of that original film, not beat for beat. I mean, characters are different. You have more of a toned down story for kids, but it doesn't really do much. It doesn't really take any risks. It plays itself very safe. Now, the show is where it explores a little more of the characters, but with this film that's like less than an hour long, you don't really get to know the characters too much. You have Simba's son within this film, and he's trusted as being the Lion Guard, so he brings in all of his animal friends to help him be the Lion Guard. And it's a setup for the future installment within the series. It's fine. I like seeing the characters return within this film. It's not the best thing ever, but it's fun for kids. Coming in number 5, The Lion King, the remake. It's crazy that you could take one of the best animated films of all time and turn it into a live action. I mean, not a live action, just a remake of it, and it's not as good. The songs don't hit as well as the first movie. The character arcs lack that depth. You lack that expression to the characters. You don't feel any sort of emotion within this film. Visually, it's stunning. Like, it's a good looking film, and Jon Favreau is a talented director, and he's able to capture the large landscape and all of the lions and animals. It's stunning to look at. There's no problem with any of that. It's just it doesn't have that same emotions where the characters in the Lion King animated film express their emotions through song and facial expressions. You can't get that in here because of how real it looks. So when you have the musical numbers, it just feels off. When you have your emotional scenes with Mufasa and Simba and Scar, it's not there. It's completely lacking any sort of personality and emotion to this film. It looks so real to the fact that I can't buy into anything within this film. Coming at number 4, Mufasa The Lion King. Now, this is better than the Lion King remake. The animations, the visuals are still kind of the same. It looks really good. And Barry Jenkins is trying his hardest to tell a very compelling story for Taka and Mufasa, trying to give it this depth to their relationship. Now, Taka eventually turns into Scar, but that transition from Taka to Scar is so weak. You don't feel that it's the same character from the remake or the same character Scar in the animated film. They built up this very genuine relationship in the beginning. They're singing about wanting to be brothers. They go on this adventure, and the transition from Taka to Scar is so quick that it's not earned, and you don't feel that weight to Scar's resentment towards Mufasa, and you don't feel any of that anger within it. And so that's the biggest issue for me within this film. And they also have it being a prequel and a sequel. So you have Rafiki telling the story to Kiara about Mufasa. It's interrupted throughout this movie. They often break up the natural flow of this film. To go back to some jokes from Timon and Pumbaa, which I like in the film, they're breaking up the rhythm. And I think they could have just had it in the beginning and then at the end, and then not revisit all those characters in the middle half of the film. I like the genuine relationship that Barry Jenkins does explore within this film, but that transition is not there. The musical numbers aren't catchy. I mean, there's one good song I remember within this film, but other than that, they don't stand out and add really anything to this movie. Coming in at number 3, Lion King 1.5. This is an innocent, fun film. You get to know more of Timon and Pumbaa within this movie, and it leads up to their encounter with Simba in the middle half of The Lion King. I'm not so interested in the storyline with Timon and his family. It seems to take up a bulk of the movie, and it isn't that interesting. It's not like adding so much to the character, but I like exploring more of Timon and Pumbaa. The jokes land, and it's pretty funny throughout, and it's got a nice energy to the film, and I do appreciate looking at a different aspect to these characters, and then eventually meeting the timeline within The Lion King. It's fun, and I like Pumbaa and Timon in here and seeing how that relationship started and developed, and they trusted each other, and now they're very iconic characters. And some of the subplots in here I just think don't have any really personality to it, or it just kind of just, you're just there for the sake of the film and to add to the runtime. But it is a fun film, and it's pretty innocent, and it's enjoyable. Coming at second place, The Lion King 2. This is one of the best Disney sequels. It has some great songs, and the song He Lives in You is often referenced in the Mufasa film. And seeing a more like Romeo and Juliet story with Kiara and Kovu within this film, and seeing how they develop this friendship, but their families don't want them to interact with each other. And so you have a more very personal story for both of them, as they are drawn to each other, but everybody else is telling them no. So you have a very intriguing story that does expand on the characters from the first Lion King, paired that with some great songs throughout, animation that works for it being a sequel, and some emotion throughout this film. I was very impressed with this animated sequel. I just did a ranking of all the Disney animated sequels, and this is the best one. Everything else, I mean, there's some good ones in there, but a lot of them do not compare to their original films. Now, I do think that the sequel does not compare to that original movie, but it is good and adds something new to The Lion King, and develops the characters that were already established in that first film, and does things to challenge them a little more, challenge them mentally, and watching them grow as characters, especially Simba, watching him grow as a father. This is new territory for him, and it's a nice subplot within this movie. But coming in first place, The Lion King. There's no denying that this is one of the best animated films of all time. The characters are nicely explored, has a quick pace to it. It has some beautiful songs. I could comfortably say that The Lion King has the best Disney soundtrack. They're all catchy and add something to the characters. What young Simba is going through and wanting to be king, or the music, or the song with Scar, it's all nicely put together. The opening gives me chills still. I've seen this film many times, and I've seen the play on Broadway. The opening of this film is just so iconic and so beautiful to watch. But the characters go through a lot of changes. There's a lot of emotions, especially with Mufasa in the middle half. I still, to this day, you get teary-eyed watching that scene. But you have some iconic moments in here, characters that kind of break up the more dramatic moments of this film. Timon and Pumbaa add that comic relief to this film. The animation is beautiful for it being in the 90s. It's all around a fantastic animated film from Disney, and to this day, one of their best. It is my second favorite Disney animated film, behind Pinocchio, which is my first. So I love The Lion King. It's such a good film, and it's easily the best Lion King movie. So there you guys have it, all 6 Lion King films ranked worst to best. How would you rank them? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming content like this. My name is Justin Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.